I'm sorry, we had a slight technical difficulty. Um, so our listeners on the radio station will have to slightly bear with me. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the regular broadcasts of the Lahore Ahmadiyya community. We believe, as did Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib of Qadian, that the Holy Prophet Muhammad was the last prophet after whom no prophet can come, old or new, and that the Holy Quran is complete and perfect. No verse is left out from it, and none of the verses are abrogated or cancelled. Our Sunni brothers and Shia brothers believe that verses of the Holy Quran have been missed out and parts of it have been cancelled. We reject that, as did the promised Messiah. We also believe that the Holy Prophet said that if one reciter of the kalima, one Muslim calls another Muslim a kafir, it is the caller who is the heretic or the kafir. Holy Prophet was so strict on this that calling a reciter of the kalima was akin to heresy. And further, we believe, as did the whole Jamaat, and as is shown by the text that was signed by Hazrat Maulana Nuruddin Sahib, and which text was placed on the tombstone of Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, that, and I read out the text, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad of Qadian, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, landlord of Qadian, Mujaddid of the 14th century, the promised Messiah and martyr. That shows that Maulana Nuruddin believed that because he read that, he signed it and approved it, and that shows that the whole Jamaat believed that. Those of you who are new, we are going through the Holy Quran, and we are going back to the root of as many words as possible, and we spend 15-20 minutes looking at different meanings and what the message is, the guidance of the Holy Quran is, for what further guidance there is in the Holy Quran for us. So we got as far as verse 45 of chapter 2, Surah Al-Baqarah. I've now lost it, so you'll have to bear with me. Where are we? Oh, here we are. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم واستعينوا بالصبر والصلاة وإنها لكبيرة إلا على الخاشعين. And seek assistance through patience and prayer. And this is hard, except for the humble ones. So we look at the first word of this verse, which is wasta'inu, which is translated by Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Ali Sahib Rahmatullah Alayh as uh, seek assistance. And its root is Ain Wa Nun, and it means aid, assist, assistance, give succor, relief, support. And with this we have istaqan. So hidden in it is, although we are asking for support, one thing that we are asking for support for, that nothing at all forces us to become extreme in what we are about to do. The same verse is used, Iyaka nabudu wa iyaka nasta'in, and we worship you, or we are your servants or slaves, and we turn to you for help and assistance and so on. But the essence of this word is that yes, you're asking for support and relief and succor and aid, but a moderate person, the middle of the road person. And why you're doing that will come in a minute. The next word is wasta'inu bis sabri. Fad ba ra is the root here, and what it stands for is the struggle, the constant, continuous struggle to attain an objective. And that struggle is in the face of difficulties and failures and setbacks. This is why that when you ask for help, you say, keep me moderate. Firmness comes from the fact that the same word or similar word, as-sabir, is used for a mountain. The mountain is firm in its place. Similarly, as-sabura is the weight that is used to balance a boat. Keep it in balance so that it doesn't tilt one way or the other. So I would suggest that what it means is that to attain an objective, you continue to struggle, whatever the difficulties and hardships and failures and so on. But when you face these difficulties and failures, you don't lose hope. Particularly, you don't start doing wrong things to attain that objective. In Islam, and does not justify the means. What it means is steadfastness. And what you're praying for is for God to keep you steadfast, but at the same time keep you moderate, so that the failure, the struggle, the difficulty, the disappointment doesn't lead you astray in one direction or the other. Sabr does not mean, and this is a common thing that people say, what choice did I have? मैंने सब्र किया. What choice did I have? I was patient. This is not sabr. This is giving up. This is un-Islamic. Sabr means steadily struggling. Sabr means steadfastly struggling to attain your objective in the face of difficulty and failure and loss. And then it says, "Wasta'inu bis-sabri was-salati." And literal translation is prayer. Maulana has translated it here, and seek assistance through patience and prayer. But I'm sorry. Of course, it does mean prayer, but it actually stands for, and we did this 2 or 3 days ago, it actually stands for um, obedience of all the divine laws. Obedience to all the divine laws. So your struggle has to be within what God has decreed is law. So God is saying in the first part, struggle steadfastly and constantly. And you have to ask God for support, particularly of failure. You don't go astray. You don't become an extremist. You remain moderate and you keep obeying all of the God's commands. This is why we have the last part. Next word is Kabir, and the root of Kabir is Kaf, Ba, Ra, and its opposite is Saghir. Saghir means small, so Kabir means big. Now, the big here in Arabic actually means in size, in wealth, in age, in authority. So someone who has more authority than you at your office would be Kabir. The Prime Minister is Kabir. He's bigger than the minister. The minister is bigger than an ordinary member of parliament, and so on. In the same, but it literally applies to size as well. Someone who's taller is Kabir. Someone who's older in age is Kabir. And it applies to tasks as well. A task that is difficult, this word applies to that as well. Very hard. And this is hard, as Hazrat Maulana has said. Except for who? Except for khashi'een. Khashi'een. Khashin ghaib. And it means lowering your gaze. So you look down. It means a derivation is also used for the setting of a star, because the star lowers itself in the sky when it's set. But here it means those whose heads bow down and are lowered to God's command. And Maulana has translated that as humble ones. Yes, it's used as in the sense of humble and submissive and so on. So you can see that how many verses of the Holy Quran? We're only at verse 45 of the second chapter. Verse 45 of the second chapter. And you've seen that the constant theme is moderation and humbleness, obedience to God's command. And most of all, never ever giving up. Never ever giving up. Constant struggle to achieve an objective. But that struggle has to be within the boundaries defined by Allah, given by Allah in the Holy Quran. And it has to be done in a moderate way so that others are not harmed. This is why the Holy Quran. You see, I mean, if you take Salat literally, you're hard up for whatever reason, and you go to prayer, and you pray, and then you go out, and you see someone's wallet on the ground, and you know who it belongs to, and you pick it up, and you take all the cash out and throw it in the bin. Have you actually obeyed God's command? You might have obeyed you have obeyed the one which says go to the mosque to pray. But you haven't learned anything from that prayer. Prayer is supposed to teach you integrity and honesty and truthfulness and so on. And what have you done? You come out and you pinch someone's wallet. So this is the point to remember, that we are supposed to obey all of God's commands, not just one. People fast and then after Ramadan they go back to their bad old habits. What was the point of fasting? So this is all for today. And today is Thursday, so tomorrow we have our Friday service at 1 o'clock. So we don't have reflections on the Holy Quran on Friday. On Sunday we have the call of the Messiah, so we don't have reflections on the Holy Quran. We used to have lessons in Islam on Sunday. We are going to move that to Saturday. So all the reflections on the Holy Quran won't be broadcast on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we'll be back on Monday. But we will have broadcasts Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, 1 p.m. UK time, because that is the time for the Friday service. Saturday, 9 a.m. UK time, and Sunday, 9 a.m. UK time. With a prayer that until we meet again, whenever you switch in, Allah keeps you safe and sound and free from harm, whoever you are and wherever you are. Assalamu alaikum, Khuda Hafiz, and goodbye.